Let's shift here a little. Considering a history of lawsuits, fiscal abuse, and nasty infighting in the previous standalone fire departments, explain what measures the board could take to ensure that will not occur again. And Mr. Riddell, would you start with that one?
Well, I was around back then, and I'm telling you right now that there's a lot of blame to go around. I mean, the firefighters didn't do everything right, the management didn't do everything right, and the board didn't do everything right. And there was a reference made earlier by another individual on this podium that made reference to hearing the same thing being uttered. Yeah, when Half Moon Bay wasn't doing their job and the things were spiraling out of control, I gave them written notice when I was on the Montero board that if you don't clean up your act, we're going somewhere else, just like now. So I've been very consistent in what I've been doing since I've been on this board. When Half Moon Bay had their problems and didn't clean up their act, I said we're going somewhere else and gave them notice, and I did the same thing. I'm doing the same thing with CAL FIRE. So let's leave it at that.
Let's see, thank you. Mr. Alfano, considering the history of lawsuits, fiscal abuse, and nasty infighting in the previous standalone fire departments, explain what measures the board could take to ensure that will not occur again.
I think it starts with leadership. I think it starts with a board that supports a chief, and that's what we need to do. Unfortunately, right now we have a chief that works for the state of California. He spends 4 hours a month here. 4 hours a month, 2 parades a year. That doesn't cut it in my book. We need leadership, we need oversight. We don't have that right now. So when we have those things, and then we have strong employees that get hired on and understand the culture that's going to be here, I think we're going to have success. We can start from scratch and learn from our mistakes. At the same time, look forward to the future and understand that we want to have a successful operation here and understand that we can do better than what we have now. And we certainly don't want to go back to what we had before.
Thank you. And let's see, Mr. Cockrell.
Yeah, I think the definition of neurosis is when you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. I fear our current board wants to go back and do the same thing, and suddenly, as if by magic, we're going to get a different result. Not likely. Let me read a couple of the conclusions from the grand jury report, if you'll bear with me. The grand jury believes that the residents of the Coastside Fire Protection District are being well served by CAL FIRE, and CAL FIRE deserves the full support of the CFPD board based on performance, cost effectiveness, and flexibility. The grand jury believes the board has failed to articulate any reason to justify the desire to terminate CAL FIRE services. Furthermore, in the course of its investigation, the grand jury heard many accusations from CFPD board members regarding CAL FIRE performance that were unfounded, outdated, or relatively minor significance. Now, this isn't the recall folks talking. This is an independent grand jury made up of peers such as you and me and the rest of us, and these are people that were just trying to get to the truth of the matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, Ms. Anderson.
First, I'd like to clear up one thing. Just about everybody except the firefighters in the fire service is referred to as a chief. The chief that Mr. Alfano was talking about is the unit chief, and he covers all of San Mateo and Santa Cruz County. He's like the head guy for this area. He doesn't need to be at the fire station any more than 4 hours a month. Paul Cole is the fire chief. He is a full-time fire chief, okay? So the definition of terms here is apples and oranges once again. This misinformation keeps going out, and if it's said enough times, they think it becomes true, but it doesn't. It doesn't become true. This is just another way that they're getting their little prevarications in, and it's not true.
Let's see, Mr. McIntosh, what measures could the board take to ensure that the lawsuits and infighting wouldn't happen again?
Start out with his experience.
I'm always interested when people feel that when they try something in which there's been a failure, that failure is going to necessarily occur the next time around. Most people learn from the mistakes and make sure that they don't repeat them. I remember talking with Chief Bolano when this was going down, when everybody was feeling everything was really bad and the press was showing all kinds of things, and I walked into his office because I wasn't on the board at the time and asked him, and he looked at me and he said, "Doug, here's the issue. In order to fix the problem, we only have a few people that we have to deal with, but it's going to take me a little bit of time, and it's going to take me a very supportive board behind me in order to get it accomplished. I don't have those. And so therefore I'm going to recommend and move on." And he did. He wrote his report and he moved on.
Thank you. And finally, Mr. McCusick.
Okay, I think as voters, you should listen to these people that were suggesting you recall, and what's in it for you? What's in it for you after all this technicality and this talk? And what I'm saying is, these are very highly qualified people in another setting, might be good fire board directors. But right now, they're talking about the wrong policy. This is a blimp. It's a lot of talk and nothing inside. Okay, so that's the point for you to, in your recalls, really, they need to leave, and we need to keep CAL FIRE, because the idea is enormous and complex, not even a business plan. Okay, it's sinking as we talk, and I urge you to be nice to these gentlemen, but they do need to leave office right now and stop this foolishness.
Thank you.